Surface landmarks of leg. So you can observe the medial and lateral condyles of the tibia. They can be felt especially in flexed knee when the thigh is flexed and laterally rotated. So thigh should be flexed and laterally rotated, then you can feel the two condyles of the tibia. Next, coming to tibial tuberosity, it is a bony prominence on front of upper part of tibia. It is 2.5 centimeter distal to the knee joint. It's a line passing through upper margin of tibial condyles here like this. Okay. The tuberosity provides attachment to ligamentum patellae above and it is continuous with the shin below. Okay. Next, coming to head of fibula. The head of fibula lies posterolaterally at the level of tibial tuberosity. It serves as a guide to common peroneal nerve which winds around the posterolateral aspect of neck of fibula. Okay. Next, coming to the shin. The shin is subcutaneous, okay, anterior border of tibia. It is sinuously curved, extends from tibial tuberosity to the anterior margin of the medial malleosus till here. Okay. And next, it is better defined in upper part than in lower part. Okay. Next, coming to medial surface of tibia. So this is the medial surface of tibia. It is mainly subcutaneous except in the uppermost part where it is crossed by tendons of sartorius, gracilis, semitendinous. So all the medial side muscles like sartorius, gracilis, semitendinous, great saphenous vein cross the. So actually the upper part is uh, I mean like the medial side of tibia is subcutaneous, but the upper part is also subcutaneous, but it is not felt because of the muscles like sartorius, gracilis, semitendinous. And then the lower part, the great saphenous vein crosses the lower 1/3 of the surface, running obliquely upwards, backwards from the anterior border of medial malleosus. So from here, actually, the great saphenous vein runs like this. Okay. Next, actually, the medial border of tibia. So the medial border of tibia is palpable throughout its whole extent. The saphenous nerve and great saphenous vein run along it. So actually on this side, the saphenous nerve, you can see here the great saphenous vein, from here it will start, and also the saphenous nerve will be running along it. Okay. Now coming to gastrocnemius. Actually gastrocnemius is a posterior muscle. Okay. You can, yeah, even in this it's not there. Gastrocnemius is actually the posterior, it has two bellies. Okay, its underlying soleus form fleshy prominence of the calf. These muscles become prominent when heel is raised as standing on toes, and tendocalcaneus is strong thick tendon of these muscles. It is attached below to posterior surface of calcaneum, that I will show on the posterior surface of the knee. So you can see here this is the posterior side of your leg, right? So these are the two bellies of the gastrocnemius, and below you have the soleus muscle. So they are attached to a tendon Achilles, which is a tendon. So they are attached like this. So especially when you flex, what did I say? Especially they are prominent when the heel is raised as standing on toes like this. So when the heel is raised, this all will become prominent like this on the posterior aspect. Okay. So we'll go to our normal diagram. Okay. So next, coming to the medial malleosus. Yeah, of course this one is a medial malleosus. Okay, it's a bony prominence on medial side of ankle formed by downward projection of medial surface of lower end of tibia. Next, coming to lateral malleosus, it's a bony prominence on the lateral side of ankle mainly formed by lower end of fibula. It is larger, narrower than the medial malleosus. It is 0.5 centimeters below of medial malleosus. If you see, the lateral malleosus somewhat below when compared with the medial malleosus. Okay, and the posterior borders of two malleoli are in same coronal plane, but the anterior border of lateral malleosus is 1.5 cm behind the medial malleosus. Next, coming to the peroneal trochlea. So I will show it in another diagram. Okay, let's say peroneal trochlea essentially when it's present is felt as little prominence about a finger breadth below lateral malleosus. If you see, this is the lateral malleosus, so just below it sometimes there will be presence of peroneal trochlea. You can feel it. It is actually the peroneus brevis passes above and the peroneus longus below the trochlea. Okay, so remember that peroneus brevis muscle passes above the trochlea Now whereas the peroneus longest muscle passes below the trochlea. Next, coming to sustentacular tali, it can be felt above the thumb breadth below the medial malleolus. So below medial malleolus, if you put your thumb, you can feel that sustentaculum tali. Okay. And next, coming to tuberosity of navicular bone, it's a low bony prominence. It is present anterior inferior to the medial malleolus, about midway between the back of the heel and the root of the big toe. So this is the big toe, this is the back of the heel. So in the midway you can feel that navicular bone. Okay, especially its tuberosity. Next, coming to head of talus. Head of talus lies above line joining sustentaculum tali and the sustentaculum tali and tuberosity of navicular bone. So if you join to the tuberosity of navicular bone, if you join them together, then you can feel the head of talus. Next, coming to tuberosity of base of fifth metatarsal bone. Of course, fifth one means little finger, right? So tuberosity of base of fifth metatarsal bone is most prominent landmark on lateral border of foot. It lies midway between the point of heel and the root of little toe. Okay, so in the middle you can feel that. Next, coming to posterior tibial artery pulsations can be felt against calcaneum about 2 cm below and behind medial malleolus. So below and behind means backway. So at this side you can actually feel that posterior tibial artery. Next, coming to dorsalis pedis artery. Dorsalis pedis artery pulsations are felt best on dorsum of foot, about 5 cm distal to malleoli. Okay, and lateral to tendon of extensor hallucis longus over intermediate cuneiform bone. So over intermediate cuneiform bones means somewhere over here you can feel the dorsalis pedis artery. Next, coming to tendon of tibialis anterior become prominent on active inversion of foot, passing downward and medially across medial part of anterior surface of ankle. Medial part of anterior surface of ankle. So somewhere over here you can feel the tendon of tibialis anterior. Next, tendon of extensor hallucis longus become prominent when the foot is displexed. So here will be tendon of extensor hallucis longus, because it will extensor hallucis means it will go to big toe. Okay. Next, coming to tendon of extensor next comes extensor digitorum brevis. It produces an elevation. It will be this side, extensor digitorum brevis. It actually produces elevation on lateral part of dorsum of foot when toes are dorsiflex or extended. Then you can feel at the little finger side, you can feel here the extensor digitorum brevis. Next, coming to the first metatarsophalangeal joint. Metatarsophalangeal means here at this junction it will be. So this joint lies little in front of center of ball of big toe here. Okay, so other metatarsophalangeal joints are placed 2.5 cm behind the webs of toe. So you can see at the webs of toe, so behind the webs of toe you can feel that. So these are the different surface landmarks of the leg. Next we'll start with the front of leg and dorsum of foot.